Good morning. I hope everyone is doing well. Yeah, it's been some time since I've streamed. So let's see here. It's me, myself, Tom Anderson, and possibly my Fed has stopped by. So everyone say something nice about your guardian Fed right now. Yeah, so basically, I'm going to be dropping off of all streaming for a while. I'm not really sure how long, but yeah, I'm gonna take off from California to view other sections of this economic zone that we call America. We can, rather, one can, should one so choose, check out demographic information to the, if you want to go to a place, you can check out the demographic information, and I highly recommend that you do so. I looked up a couple of the places that I want to go to, and as per usual, the more centralized, the larger the city, the more diverse it becomes. And that's not exactly my priority, because I'm very aware that diversity is our greatest strength. I've been told this many times, and I believe it without question, because failure to believe that is probably crime think. So, whatever. But that's not a priority for me. Instead, my current priority is to find places where there are going to be people that will be more like myself, only for the sake that there will be a little bit less friction. I'll be working against them less, and they will be working against me less. So this is only for the sake of greater community cohesion. I'm sorry, I just entered the coffee zone, and I have... well, when you have a lot of coffee and suddenly you have to clear your throat a lot. Anyhow, yeah, one of the places that I'm looking at, dude, flipping 91%, and not even just 91% white. The way that the Census Bureau pads and fudges numbers is they have declared that Hispanics are white. So whenever you are looking at these statistics, you have to filter for non-Hispanic white. Otherwise, you're getting false information. The reason that America is currently... I don't remember where it is. Or rather, I don't know where it is currently. But last I checked, we were in like the 50 to 60% area, left 53% or whatever. And half of me genuinely thinks that the reason it's so high is because they are artificially padding the numbers, and they're counting Middle Easterners as white, they're counting Hispanics as white. And, take that for what you will. That's speculative on my part. I'm not 100% sure. However, one of the places that I looked at was... according to what I was looking at, the charts, the tables, 91% non-Hispanic whites. Such places exist. They aren't common, but they do exist. Again, that was Coffee Zone there. So anyhow, I'm going to be wandering out. And one of the things that's been on my mind a lot recently is these places that are 91% or 80% or 70%. They don't know what's on the way. And I'm still on the fence as to what I think about where to go and why to go there. There are so many, and right now we've got Bearson hey buddy, what's going on? Jacob J 4746, hey sport, what's going on? And Quid Est Veritas and Tom Anderson, hello guys. The people that are in overwhelmingly white neighborhoods don't understand. Slim, hey buddy, what's going on? Those like me who have had the pleasure of living in diverse neighborhoods where I am a minority, firstly, and secondly, a despised minority increasingly, I understand what's coming. I get where things are going in ways that the places that I'm looking at, in ways that they don't get it. And I've been told by one or two people that there is something to be said. And I'm sorry about all of the weird pauses. I haven't had any breakfast, and I'm a little bit tired. I've been getting awful sleep recently. Part of it might be the anticipation of going on a road trip. I would love to play the Go-Go's Vacation, but unfortunately I fear that YouTube will algorithm me and block it, so I won't. But, I promise you that's in my head. Anyhow, these people don't get it. I really don't think that they get it. And because I grew up a despised minority, I do understand things that they don't. And I would like to be able to transmit those ideas to them. The only thing that seems like it might give me a path to relaying this to them, how serious, like what the situation is, firstly, and secondly, how serious it is. The only thing that I can think of that might give me a path is, critical race theory, basically. That's it. And a little while ago, I spent like 2 days writing up a cute little treatise on critical race theory, what it is, how to deal with it, so on and so forth. I had the weirdest thing happen to me while I was in the middle of writing it. It just hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, holy cow, dude. Not only do they have no idea about critical race theory, not only are they going to be completely confused by everything that I'm saying to them, not only will they go right back into, but I'm not racist, I'm not, whatever. Curiously, they're going to, oh nice, congratulations, Jonathan Pohl. And incidentally, I deeply regret not giving you a call while I had some free time and while you were still here. The next time you're in America, burgers are on me. Congratulations once again. They don't get it, and by pointing it out, and I've seen this, many of them will begin to move toward, but I'm not racist. And I'm going to now ignore all of the attacks and threats against me and my children. And I will take a step further out of some kind of racial awareness, ethnic awareness, whatever that is. So, curiously, and I don't yet know how to resolve this. I just don't. There is an inroad into getting people. Oh, nice. Okay, Jonathan Pohl. I will likely be around back in SoCal around the holidays. I'll give you a call, or I'll give you an email. Because there's going to be a net attack on white people along racial lines, it suggests that there is going to be, on a net level, on a larger level, it suggests that there is going to be a defensive posture at some point, such that whites recognize their situation, where they are, what's going on, etc. And by I've got like three thoughts going through my head all at the same time, and that's why I've got so many pauses going on right now. By talking about critical race theory in such a way that they can retain these poor people in, these unfortunate and maligned people in the middle of the country, by talking about critical race theory in such a way that they can retain their, but I'm above racism, I'm above all of this, I'm not going to descend into the politics of hate, so on and so forth. If we talk about critical race theory in such a way that they can hold on to that, then what's going to happen, and I'm not happy about saying this, it's just what I think is going to happen, the possibility exists that we will actually just keep it going for even longer, which I do not want to happen. I don't want this to continue at all. I don't want us to, I don't want the entire country to end up like California. We ended up as we are because we tried to be above it the entire time. I know this from personal experience. I know this because I watched it happen within my own family. So the only thing that I can think of right now is that, ironically, I didn't watch the stream, but I was told about it. Tim Pool had on Charlie Kirk like a week or two ago, and I couldn't possibly tell you where in the stream he says it, and I don't know the exact verbiage, but Charlie Kirk actually said something that was properly based. He said, we need to stop caring about whether or not we are called racist. Bang on. Spot on. Yes, Charlie Kirk is a normie, and I am not particularly interested in anything that he has to say, other than perhaps it might be a good idea to know what normie cons are being told to think. In that sense, yes. However, I don't actually care. That said, that's a great... he's correct. He's completely correct. And caring about whether or not we have been called racist here in California is how conservatives and whites in general have become not only minorities, but maligned minorities. We never stood up for our children. We never stood up for each other. We never stood up for ourselves. We never stood up for our posterity. Why? Because we were afraid of being called racist. Now, everyone here knows this. Everyone in the chat knows this, and I know that you all know this. We all know it. Everyone knows it. So I'm not saying anything new. However, I do think that Middle America, this is so new to them. This is so spanking new to them. They have no idea. Like, and I'm not trying to say that I'm speaking for anyone here, but, nominal we. One could say that we are battle weary and, hip to what's going on or whatever. So for us, it's kind of passé. We're way past it. It's sort of like how on 4chan, which, by the way, I got banned off of 4chan. I keep getting bans on 4chan, fucking Jannies. Anyway, so it doesn't really matter. It's funny. On 4chan, there is a thread about reinvigorating the "It's Okay to Be White" sticker campaign, which, I've participated in over the past couple of years. I have managed to stumble upon some stickers by sheer luck and coincidence, and I have filmed them. Rather, I have video recorded instances of those stickers being up. And the 4chan people were getting pissed off because they're like, dude, this is so lame. Like, we've been doing this for so many years. And the first year, we got like a really big push. And then like the second year, not as big of a push. And then the third year, so on and so forth, because it started in like 2017 or something. So 17, 18, 19, 21. Yeah, this will be year 5. Wow. How the time flies. I only started in 2018, so whatever. Anyhow, there are people, like, we understand, we know where the "It's Okay to Be White" sticker came from. We know the meaning, the context. We know what's being said with it, and we all get it. And for us, it's passé. For Middle America, it's not. It's new to them. So even though we've spent all this time, we spent 5 flippin' years, well, 4. We've spent 4 freaking years, going on 5, thinking about, the concept of, white replacement, blah, 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 blah. And for us, like, whatever, dude, like, we've been doing this. All right, fine, I, in one of mine, I got a little bit too brazen. And a cop stopped me. Well, it's 2 cops. So I could have gotten a ticket for it, which is a little bit cringe. I mean, come on. A freaking 40-year-old man doing something that a teenager does? Like, dude, yeah, I roll my eyes at myself, and I get it. It is, yeah, it's silly. Whatever. Middle America has no idea. The places that I'm going to go to, they don't think about this. The places that I'm going to be going to, they're not in this fight. They don't get it. They don't understand. They have not been a part of it. The only thing that they have seen is what's on television or in the movies. That's it. In some rare instances, they may have seen it within academia. They may have seen it within some of their corporate training sessions or whatever. For them, it's new. I spent the past, about a month ago, 3 weeks ago, I think, 2-3 weeks ago. So for me, it's still kind of fresh in my mind. I spent like a week solid doing nothing but watching uploads of women going to school board meetings, bitching and moaning and complaining about critical race theory. You can find these everywhere. Virginia, Ohio, God, where else? Just a bunch of weird places, just strange places. I found 1 or 2 like in Idaho. I found a couple, I think I found 1 or 2 here in California. Yeah, just places, just places in general. I think I found a couple in Illinois or something like that, or maybe Michigan. So just whatever. Anyway, you can find these. It's very interesting. And for these, Montana, I'm confident I found 1 or 2 in Montana. And the curious thing is, these are smart people. They're very, they're earnest in their desire to do well for their children. And they kind of understand the underpinnings of critical race theory, and from their standpoint, they think that they have a get-out-of-jail-free card by saying, but I'm not racist. And they do not understand. They don't know where this is going to go. They have no idea that there is absolutely zero possibility of ever being called anything other than a white racist, white supremacist, Nazi racist, KKK, something USA. They don't get it. And so they're trying to figure out a way, using the logic of what's being presented to them, or the accusations being leveled against them via critical race theory. They're trying to use the internal logic of these accusations to dispel, to disarm these accusations, and it will never, ever, ever work. This is very, very new to them, in exactly the same way that the people that have done the stickering for It's Okay to Be White, in exactly the same way, this is new to them. And so the places that I'm going to be going to, and indeed anyone that is in a major city right now that is thinking about going someplace else, or thinking about talking to people, maybe you've got friends and family in other cities and states where the population is less dense and less diverse, relaying these concepts to them is going to be a stumbling block. And as I move out, as I move away from California, over the next couple of weeks into Middle America, into the country, and just start talking to people. It's going to be a bit of a thing because I'm going to have to start talking about things in such a way that they actually can understand, and they can understand that trying to pick it apart on an internal logic level is going to fail. That has got to be core to the discussions, that you cannot reason with communists, socialists, and progressives, Antifa, BLM, etc. You can't reason with them at all. And this is a zero-sum game from their standpoint. They're the ones saying that this is a zero-sum game. So curiously, I find myself, coming all the way back to the original point here, I curiously find myself in the position of trying to find a place that I'd like to go to where perhaps I can somehow strike a balance between a population that isn't so diverse that I am completely hemmed out, but at the same time, here in Los Angeles, there was a brief period of time about a decade ago where I was having a tough time finding a job. And at the time, I could not figure out why I was having a tough time finding a job. This is back when I was completely blue-pilled. And I saw that all of the places that I was going to, they were all populated by Mexicans. They were all populated by Middle Easterners, Indians, blacks, etc. And the only guy that was having a difficult time finding a job was me, a white guy. Could not figure it out. Now I realize that, in-group preference is a thing. Now I understand fully. There will be no reciprocation. All of your if you are white, your goodwill will not be reciprocated. So it's just the way that it is. And I would like to be in a place where I don't have to deal with that as much. Biden has vowed that he will fundamentally transform everything. He will inject diversity into the countryside, into rural America. So there are no safe spaces. So I think it's critical that we start distributing pink pills at all times so that everyone freaking knows. Because as this ramps up, even those places that I want to flee to, that's temporary stability at best. Seriously, it's temporary stability at best. So it's critical, it's vital that we do everything that we can to get everything ready and in line, so that as things change, we can indicate to people what's going on, what the patterns are going to look like in the future, and what they can do to mediate or redirect what's going on. People need to start thinking in a mindset that is not dictated to them by the radical left that hates them so much. We've got to do everything that we can to help foment a mindset, a paradigm, a psychological state such that these people in Middle America are able to and willing to mount some kind of a defense against their ethnic cleansing. That has got to happen, or we'll say demographic replacement. I really think that's vital. So these are the things that are on my mind. William N.S., yes, I am gonna leave Los Angeles at least for a while, and we'll see what happens. I'm gonna have to go out, find a couple of places that I think I might want to go to, and then come back. I've got a few options, some of which are really good, some of which I think are great, to be honest, for various reasons. One of them involves family, so I'm inclined to give preference to where there is family. So we'll see what happens with that. But on the other hand, there are other factors in play. There are lots of factors in play, but family always is always going to be +1, +2 if they happen to be in a section of the country that's already pretty demographically fit. The place where I am right now, the demography isn't all that great. I do have family here, but the demography is just not great. So it's like, okay, family +1, but -1 because of bad demography. Also -1 because the government is viciously antagonistic toward people who look like me. So I think on a net level, it ends up being -1 living in California, and also -1 because of the cost of living here. So I think -2 here in California. Yeah. Tom Sawyer says Arkansas. Yeah, that's there's some great places in Arkansas. I went on to Wikipedia, and there is a city in northern Arkansas that was described in somewhat uncharitable terms. However, it certainly piqued my interest. So there are places that one can go. But anyway, yeah, that's what's been on my mind for quite some time. It's where I'm going to be going. It's what I'm going to be doing, and I do think that we ought to be. I encourage everyone here to do what you can to think about how you can distribute pink pills in such a way that you don't encourage boomers and normie cons to fall back into the trap of, but I'm not racist, please don't call me racist. That has to be taken out of the equation. And at some point, and this is the thing that I've been thinking about. Who's that? John Mark? Does anyone remember John Mark? The guy who it was kind of cringe, but whatever. I don't know if anyone remembers John Mark. Anyway, John Mark, he used a word that I think we need to start employing a lot, and that word is reciprocity. Right now, the normie cons, boomers, these poor Gen X people that they grew up back when racism wasn't a thing, and they think these poor and I'm one of them. They think that just because they are not seeing color, that no one else will see color. They really think that. I know this because I am one of them, and this is just the way that it is. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying it's just how it is. And they need to be informed that it's just never going to work out. And all of your non-color blindness, all of your refusal to see color, that will never ever be reciprocated. It has got to be relayed to these normie cons that it's not being reciprocated ever. And I'm not sure exactly how to convey it to them. But the cries of racism are only ever going to be leveled against whites. And at no point at all is anyone going to, are any of these diverse peoples, at no point are they going to leap to the defense of whites. On a net level, I understand that there are individual instances of some of them who are decrying the attacks against whites, and hey, I'm actually really happy about that. I can't remember their names, but there's some Asian couple. They've got a YouTube channel, and they call out the anti-white bigotry, and apparently their channel is getting throttled. So, I'm grateful. I'm actually very happy about that. I'm not in any sense trying to bat away or slap away the helping hands. That's not my intent. So I'm not talking at all about individuals Who's that one chick? Laura Chan or something? Lauren Chan, I think. Lauren Chen. I think she's like a Hapa up in Canada. Well, Hapa should refer to Japanese. She's half Chinese. Whatever. Moving on. Her and Tim Pool, they are also talking about the anti-white bigotry. And it's amusing that Tim, he counts as white enough. He's white adjacent, and he is white enough. And indeed, so many of these people who are Hapa or mulatto or mestizo or castizo, they will be described as white enough, and so they're going to get the raw end of this as well. And it's unfortunate. I don't like it for them. And I guess they have no choice but to start calling it out. Good. And once again, I'm not trying to bat away any of the helping hands here. The point is simply that on a net level, that's just not going to be the case. And that's the point. It's not a matter of hating people. It's not a matter of saying, I don't want these people, to think or do this, that, and the other thing or whatever. It's not about that. It's just a matter of, okay, fine, so we're going to be attacked. If we're going to be attacked, and if we're never going to get anything good from all of our generosity, if all of our goodwill is only ever going to result in more hostility being leveled against us, I think we have no choice but to acknowledge it and to say, I'm done with it. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to worry about these attacks because they're always going to be the exact same thing. It's going to be an attack against us, and there will be no self-reflection against the people who are attacking us. They will not self-reflect. They will not. They will not recognize their own bigotry, their own hostilities. So we have to stop thinking about whether or not we can please people who hate us, and who see this as a zero-sum game. So anyway, all right. You know what? I was going to check the chat a little bit more. And I'm sorry about not checking the chat. Again, these are just ideas that are in my head. I'm gonna go through just a little bit of the chat, and then I'm gonna call a stream because I gotta get out. I got things that I've got to do so that I can leave California on my trip. Let's see here. Tom Sawyer says he got to pay his 2 tags 2 weeks late. Oh gosh, yeah, dude. Registration alone, I had to redo my tags as well, and good heavens, registration here in California is just awful. It's so lame. And yeah, Ryan 218, how's it going, buddy? John Mark does kind of glow, to be honest, but sometimes, and I don't know, maybe he does, maybe he is a formal glowy, I actually don't know, but sometimes these people do. The lies will be mixed with the truth, and things that are really happening, those will be used as manipulation tools against us. So it's okay to acknowledge that these people are going to say things that are true. I'm comfortable with acknowledging that. Oh yeah, that's right. That's what I was thinking about. The non-reciprocity. I think that a combination of CRT and non-reciprocity, I think, might be the angle that I choose. The angle that I use to convey these ideas to normie cons in Middle America along my trip. And I would encourage people to think in such terms. I'm not saying do exactly what I'm doing, but if you come up with a better idea, holy cow, man, put it in the chat and let me know. And I might be doing another stream, by the way, tomorrow night. Let's see here. Jonathan Pohl says he has a poor Gen X that grew up when race was not a public thing. Yeah, I know. I kind of miss it, to be honest. Back in the late 80s, early 90s, like, no one cared, and we would make jokes that were completely uncouth, things that you cannot repeat on YouTube at all, or even just in public any longer, because everything is racist, everything is sexist, everything is homophobic, and you have to point it all out. And it is tiresome, and I mean, think about, what is it? I used to love the movie Austin Powers. What a dumb fucking movie that was. But it was innocent, and it was stupid, and it was silly. Yes, it was subversive. Yes, I get it. I understand the underpinnings and certain elements within the movie, but you can't make movies like that. And even just a dumb subversive movie like that, you can't even make that anymore. And it's terrible. It's just terrible. Let's see here. Tom Sawyer, he was watching House Hunters. A couple was buying a house in Livermore, California. One of the women in the relationship had a kid, not sure which one's kid. 1.5. Yeah, I know. We're priced out here. We're completely priced out here, and there's nothing you can do. Livermore has Sandia Labs as well as Wente Winery, so the salaries are sky high. My father worked. Yeah, but I mean, even here in West LA, in one of the not so expensive parts, same 1.5 million. There is a house in the neighborhood that I live in right now that was going for a little over like 2.1, something like that. So like it's out of control here, out of freaking. Of course, that was one of the newer homes or whatever, so like the median here is like 1.5 or something, maybe 1.6 at most, but I mean it's nuts. The people who were just straight ahead blue collar people, they have all moved out. Almost all of them are gone now, and the only ones that remain are silent generation or boomers who either bought their houses or inherited their houses. So, like years and years ago, before the year 2000, like that's how bad it is out here. So the only people, well, whatever, I could go on at length. It doesn't really matter. Let's see here. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead. Yeah, that's right. I wish I was wealthy. That would be fantastic. The only reason that I can afford to live here is because, like those boomers and those silent generation people, I've been like, I'm in a situation that has, like, I'm in a good spot. I'm in a good spot, and it's by an amazing series of coincidences. I'll take it. I'm grateful for it. I'm happy that it happened. But it's no longer something that I care to be a part of. So anyway, all right, I think I'm gonna go ahead and let it out. Everyone, I hate talking about my own personal life. So I'm not. I don't own a home. Of the few things that I'm willing to admit out loud about myself, I don't own a home. I'm not a homeowner. I wish I was a homeowner. That'd be freaking awesome, but I'm not that wealthy. So, it's unfortunate, but it's just the way that it goes. So, anyhow, I'm going to let out. I should be streaming tomorrow, I think. Tomorrow during the evening time, so we'll see how that goes. I hope everyone here has a good afternoon or evening or morning, depending on where you are. So, yeah, you guys, pray to God. Very important. Pray to God. You can either fight evil with God or you can fight evil without God. I know my choice. So I won't go too far with it. That's just where I stand on that. Also, nut bar things are happening in this world. So, wrist check. I'm currently wearing my Casio A168. Fantastic watch. I've not checked them recently on Amazon. Last I checked, they were going for like $22 on Amazon. I bought mine from a brick and mortar for like $32 or something. So they cost a little bit extra if you're going to be buying them. But I was willing to buy from a brick and mortar. I really don't mind. It's not a big deal to me. But yeah, Casio watches, highly rugged, highly durable. The A168 has a metal band, so it'll last much longer than the resin straps. That's one of the reasons why I got it. And I freaking love the thing. More accurate than a $5,000 mechanical, and all for less than what it costs to buy lunch. If you're gonna if you're gonna go outside, if you're gonna do things, if you're gonna talk to people, if you're gonna pink pill people, if you're gonna go out doing, and I don't advocate it. I'm just saying hypothetical. There could be some people who would do something like something retarded idiotic, like doing a sticker campaign, like the It's Okay to Be White stickers. If one were to do such a thing, that I do not recommend, it would be probably a good idea to do it without your tracking device, without your cell phone on you. In which case, knowing how to plan, timing things, and so on, good idea to have yourself a little wristwatch. So yeah, pick up a Casio. Again, A168. I've got it. It's my second. I think my favorite overall really is the A158. To be honest, it's a little bit lighter. It's a little more sleek, a little more slim. Not as good of a backlight, but I don't really care about that. But I love it. I love it. And the A168, if you have a thinner wrist, the A168 has just a little more wrist presence. If you have a thin wrist, the A158 is fine. If you get a bigger wrist, then the A168, yeah, probably a better call. So just throwing that out there. And also, floss your teeth. Very important to floss your teeth. You don't have to floss all of them, just the ones you want to keep. And finally, it's okay to say no. It is okay to say no. Amongst the things that normicons need to get in their heads, one of the most important ones actually is just saying no. The left cannot handle no. They can't take anyone disagreeing with them. And you'll note that people saying no to critical race theory freaks them out. People saying no to the gene jab freaks them out. People saying no to illegal immigration freaks them out. People saying no to the curtailing of God-given rights, that freaks out the left. Saying no is highly important and one of the most powerful, not one of the most, it is the most powerful move that you can make against the radical left, communists, socialists, progressives, etc. Telling them no. That's huge. So it's okay to say no. All right, guys, I'm gonna let out. I hope everyone has a good afternoon, and I'll see everyone in the chats. Cheers.